I want to explain the two different battles that we have today. Today, all people are fighting two completely different battles. One battle is the one that we have against the supposed enemy, the one that we feel we're competing against, the one that we disapprove of. And then we have a second enemy, and that second enemy is the person that we have internally, that procrastinator and that person that tells us negative things, that feeds our mind in negative ways. And it is within our thoughts and within ourselves in a way where we're telling ourselves these things that we cannot accomplish, or that we won't be able to do, or our self-doubts. So the self-doubts come from our eternal. They prevent us from taking actions towards our goals. They prevent us from pursuing our dreams. Because within ourselves, we tell ourselves things we cannot do, that maybe we haven't even attempted yet. And so it's a battle within ourselves because we have to get control of those thoughts. Because we know that the basis of these thoughts are coming from a place without knowledge. It's coming from a place of ignorance. Because how can you tell yourself that you can't accomplish something when you've never attempted to accomplish it? Or you can't do something that you didn't actually go and research on how to do it. You don't know if you can do something until you try it. You don't know what you can be until you get out there and you start taking action. So we need to fight that eternal. And that eternal is more of a struggle than it is fighting the people that are out there. Because the people and the events that are out there are usually not against you. They can work for you. You're working against them. You're working against the grain. They have this saying, and the saying goes that there are two wolves, and one of the wolves is hungry, and the other wolf is hungry as well. Now, one wolf is positive thinking, one wolf is negative thinking. And both of the wolves want to eat, right? But then, of course, it's your decision which one you decide to feed. So you can feed your negative thinking, or you can feed your positive thinking. Now, if you feed the negative wolf, you get negative things. If you feed the positive wolf, you get positive things. And that is reality. And breaking this down into a metaphor of different thoughts. So if I'm thinking negative thoughts, negative results come from that. If I'm thinking positive results, positive things come from that. And it isn't more complicated in that scenario. Obviously, that doesn't explain everything. That doesn't explain your entire life. But it does explain this two-part metaphor involving the wolves. Negative thinking, positive thinking. That comes within you. That comes from within you. That doesn't come from out there. You decide how you get to think and what actions to take. Sometimes you don't have all of the available opportunities. But we need to think about this battle that we're fighting within ourselves. This battle that involves procrastination, that involves fear, that involves self-loathing, that involves self-hatred, that involves preventing and stopping ourselves from taking the things that we want out there. Because you, in most cases, are keeping yourself back, and you're holding yourself back. Because if you come up with a good idea, or a good thought, or a creative way to spread your gifts to the world, or you come up with a goal that you would like to pursue, but you don't take any action, then it's just a thought. And a thought within yourself that doesn't go into action is worthless. So sometimes in life, we can't blame others, and we can't say that it's their fault for what's going wrong in your life because of that battle within yourself. So you need to take a stop at all the blaming and all the negativity and look at yourself. Thoroughly look at yourself. Look at yourself internally, analyze yourself, analyze the action you have been taking in your life on a daily basis. Analyze your schedule and what you put into your life. You know, what you're putting into your life is what you're getting out of your life. If we are continuously being negative, thinking negative thoughts, and not going out there and spreading, positive energy throughout, this world and throughout our communities and things like that, then we're not contributing. So if we're not contributing, why do we expect to get so much back when we need to go out there and actually give, and we need to be generous, and we need to give to ourselves? And the way that we give to ourselves is by becoming better than what we are. We can't sit around and continue to, be this negative person and expect so many positive things to come back to us. We need to be a positive person that actually is willing to give to our communities and give to people and give to ourselves in that whole sense, in the whole cycle. It's a cycle, you're giving and you're receiving. If you want to give negative things and you want to give hardships to the world, I guarantee you the hardships comes back. Now, let me explain something. The hardships that are so intense that happen in our lives, they don't just happen overnight. I used to have this Ford Mustang, and it had front end damage. And the Ford Mustang, the front end was tilted to the left. And so since it was tilted to the left, the tires would spin more on the left than they would on the right, on that whole left side of the car. So the tires would wear out easier, much easier than the right side. So eventually, every couple of months, because I drove a lot, every few months, since I drove a lot, those tires would run out. And they would get balder and balder and balder, and it would start to split, and eventually a tire would just pop. And I would have to replace that tire as well, whatever tire popped, because I was constantly wearing it out. And it was only wearing out on the left side of the tire. So half the tire was bald and half the other tire was fine. So sometimes we have to think of our lives as this kind of tire. We can't be working on only one side of our life. We can't be working on either only our job or only our family relations and then wonder why half of our life is not working. Half of your life won't be working if you don't put the work into it. You have to put the work into your whole life. You have to put the work into the whole tire. You have to level the tire. It's about balance. And that's why the tire analogy works. Because if you're wearing out half the tire, it's going to create problems in your life. And maybe it destroys the whole tire. Even though only half that tire was bald and not working, it didn't matter. That whole tire had to be thrown away to get a whole new tire. Because it's not good enough. Because it destroyed the tire. Only the destruction happening on the left side of the tire destroyed the entire tire. So if you're neglecting your health, your whole life can get destroyed by that neglect. Even if you're focused on your family relationships, even if you're focused on your money. If you're only focused on your money and you don't focus on your relationships, your entire life can be destroyed because you can be miserable. You won't find your happiness. So focus on the whole tire. See everything that you can contribute to people and to yourself, to your life. Make sure you take care of the people in your life and that you take care of everything that's going on in your life. Pay attention to your goals. Pay attention to your job. Pay attention to your finances. Pay attention to your health. Pay attention to all of those things. Don't neglect them. And put out that positive energy. Make sure you contribute so that you can get positive things back in your life.